So it was a couple years ago now. So in 2022, I was getting just really sick, and because I'm a paramedic, I was sort of like just self-diagnosing, kind of trying to figure out what was wrong, and I kept doing things that vaguely made me feel better, and so because of that, I was like, it can't be that big of a deal, right? But I just kept getting sicker. So eventually I went to my primary care, which luckily I had at this point, because I had like just gotten a primary care. Told him all my symptoms and everything, and he was like, "Yeah, this is like really like bad. Like this is important. There's a lot of things we need to check out here." So he did an absolute crap ton of tests, and set me up with a gastroenterologist. During that next appointment, um, they were like, "All right, good news. Like we've got everything scheduled. We're gonna figure out what's wrong with you. That's great. Bad news. We can't send you home. You're not in a good enough condition to go home. We're gonna have to admit you to the hospital for observation while we prepare to actually figure out what's wrong, what's going on." So now I have a specialist who's figuring out what's wrong with me, and I have a hospitalist that's just like watching after me in the hospital for 5 days. Over the course of the 5 days, they planned things, they did some procedures, and they found out that I have ulcerative colitis. So I was diagnosed with that on Good Friday, actually. Good Friday of 2022 was whenever I was diagnosed. It now became like a marathon to figure out how we're going to get under control. There's a lot of medicines, there's a lot of ways to get under control, but it was sort of what next? And actually, I met with my gastroenterologist, and I was supposed to have an appointment with him before, but I just kind of flaked on it. I was like, I'm better, I'm fine, whatever. So whenever I saw him, he recognized me and was like, "Weren't we supposed to have an appointment before?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you, doc. I didn't have health insurance at the time. I was kind of scared, and I felt better, so I kind of just dropped it." And I was like, "But let's be honest with each other here. Let's get everything off the table. Let's be real. I have health insurance. I don't feel good. I feel very bad. I'm very sick, and I'm not scared anymore of anything. I need your help. I need you to fix me." And he was like, "Great." And that was a really good foundation, because the next thing he said is, if we're being honest with each other, the next 4 weeks are going to suck, because you're just going to feel bad, and we're just going to try and wait for medicines to get approved that are really better. But what I'm going to put you on isn't going to really help that much. It's just going to mask the symptoms until we get you on a better medicine. That's normal. It just takes a while. Getting approved for medicines that are, the medicines I'm taking are immunosuppressants, so it takes a long time to get approved for them, just to make sure you don't have other sicknesses that make it really dangerous for you to take them. Before I went to the hospital, I was like 170 pounds, and I was powerlifting. I was really strong. I was in great shape. When I got to the hospital, I was 128 pounds. If I walked anywhere or took a shower, I was out of breath. I had basically no red blood cells, and I was just really sick. And so getting back on my feet and getting, my red blood cell level up and gaining back weight that I lost very quick, because I lost all that weight. That was like 40 pounds. I lost that in like a month. And I started getting better. And so over the last, 2 years now, it's January of this year that I found out I was in remission. So over the last 2 years, basically, it's been just a long, one medicine doesn't work, one kind of works, we're swapping medicines, we're getting things done. And now I am taking Rinvoq, which has been actually working very well, actually. So I'm in remission now, which is great. Whenever I did a mission trip, I've like it was 6 months, and like the theme of the whole 6 months was basically God showing me that I'm stronger than I think I am, and that I really underestimate myself a lot, spiritually, physically, mentally. I kind of at the time I was just kind of tapping out, and I feel like what I was impressed in me over the course of the mission trip, whenever I was traveling and trying to spread the gospel and just also kind of see some of the world in a way, I like that was the whole 6 months. That was what really was being hammered home. And so whenever, years later, because the mission trip's been 6 years ago now. So whenever like 4 years after the fact, I'm going through all of this, it wasn't even that like, I felt like God was impressing on me that again. It was just like that it's like a fact, right? It's like, I know that now, right? So it vaguely, yeah, I felt like I was being reminded of it, but that was, I think, part of why I was able to make this such a positive experience, even though it was literally me being in the hospital for 5 days, because I kind of knew I would be all right. And even if I wasn't all right, it was just like, God's got it kind of thing. In the hospital, I was able to kind of stay positive and have a sort of, happy demeanor, even though I'm in really terrible shape, because it's just in the back of my mind the whole time where it's like, I'm stronger than I think I am. I'm going through it. And so because of that, I've been able to do something that I've really been enjoying. I've been trying to help raise awareness for UC, and sort of being a patient advocate. So like other patients that have it can sort of look at my story and realize like, you can come from all of this and you can get in remission. And so right now I'm sort of working with that. I was trying to do pre-medical. I wanted to go to medical school. So then, I had to get my health under control. So, people can see like I legitimately was like, I had a whole plan for my life, and this huge speed bump, everything had to stop for 2 whole years. And here I am in remission, raising awareness for UC and showing other people, ideally, and trying to spread my story, showing other patients that you can come back from this and, I'm going back to school, I'm working again, I'm getting back in shape, and next year I'm planning to climb Mount Kilimanjaro to raise awareness for ulcerative colitis as well. But for me, it's also to show everybody else that like, you don't have to let even something this big that paused my life for 2 whole years, that very really could have been the death of me. It doesn't have to stop you. You can bounce back. It's all like a mindset thing. It's all about what you're focusing on. And I think spiritually as well, it was sort of I had kind of stopped going to church for a bit, and then like right before I got sick, I started going again. And so finding a home church and then all of this happening was kind of like, well, at least, I got a home church now. So whenever I came back, everyone being like, where have you been? Oh, just the hospital, it's fine. Like, it was sort of like, it was good to have, a home church to start getting back at that. Because there was a while just before I got really sick where I was sort of in and out of church and not really, focusing on it as much, just because, I don't know, sometimes it happens like that, I guess. So it was nice to have like a home church and start getting better, and then having all these people in the church watch me, getting better as well. And I think it's really cool that that's something I get to do. In a weird way, I'm blessed that I have this, and it's a condition. It's like a terrible thing, but like I get to show other people with similar or worse conditions that like, it's not all storm clouds and darkness and sadness. You can make it. You can get past it, and you can live well. But going through all of that, it did kind of remind me, or kind of, I guess, open my eyes to the fact that that I guess like a lot of people, both spiritually and not spiritually, just in general, are kind of just living in fear of doing things that God's calling them to do, or that they want to do, just straight up just want to do it, just going and traveling or something. It's like whether God's calling you to do it or not, like people are just scared to do the things that they want to do or that they should do. And I think after going through all of that, there was this kind of part of me that was like, again, I couldn't take a shower without getting out of breath. So this is part of me that was just stuck on a hospital bed at 23 for 5-6 days. And it was like, man, I really like, I did a mission trip. I traveled the world. I was hiking in Nepal for a month. Like I did all this cool stuff, and I still feel like there's so much that I want to do and that God wants me to do. And here I am, like, stuck in a hospital bed. Whenever I'm sitting here, really put it all into perspective for me, where it was like, I feel like there are things God wants me to do, and I can't just sit here and, twiddle my thumbs and just play around. Like, if God wants me to do something, or if I, think I need to do something, or I can do something, then I should jump on the opportunity, which is how I've started kind of raising awareness for UC. Is the opportunity, presented itself to do some surveys as a patient now, and I did, and that kind of one thing led to another, and now I'm working with AbbVie to do this as a patient in the SPEAK program, which has been really, really cool. So it's like, for me, I feel like I've been more acutely aware of all the opportunities on just a daily basis that present themselves to just go out and express yourself, share with others, opportunities that God's setting up for us that sometimes we just look straight past because we're scared of it. And like I would be lying if I told you that I wasn't like a little bit scared of like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, but the idea that I can take that and use that to help show other people that they're stronger than they think they are. It's not just me. It's not just, God didn't just tell me you're stronger than you think you are. I think he means that for a lot more people than just me, right? So the opportunity to share other people that and to show other people that in spite of what they're going through, that they can overcome that, right? I think that to anybody and everybody out there, I think that's what it really comes down to is don't live your life worrying about what could happen, and look at what's in front of you like it's some giant thing, because soon enough, this giant problem, you'll be on the other side of it, and it will look so small.